Hey guys, how's it going? Excuse me. Anyways, thought I'd throw out a quick little tutorial here while I got some time this afternoon. Um, there's been a few issues as far as data entry errors or whatever the case may be. Um, First, let me just say that even I will mistakenly enter a wrong entry from time to time. The only difference is I spot it right away. And that's something that anybody who's using the registry should be doing. They should be not closing it up and then running the simulator. The simulator is actually this doesn't take much memory. Having a web browser open, even having a few tabs open. Now, mind you, I don't have the simulator open to prove this, but if let's say you run the simulator, you got it in the background, okay? Trust me on this. It's the way the memory management is with the simulator now. It's not going to be an issue, and in the past, it really never was because it doesn't take much resources to have a web browser, provided you don't have too many tabs open like I do here. Um, but let's just say those were closed up or whatever. You just got this one tab. I got a couple other things that I'm looking at right now. So. Um, let's use back bar for an example down here. Let's pretend it's a release like the other trains here, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to depart. So you got back bar, right? So M back bar 1. You go to form, go to live form, or you can click on the actual live form link if it's available. But that's usually the way I go through it. So you want M back bar 1, right? So watch this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to purposely make a mistake. Whoops, it's not letting me type it. So let me go and I'm going to go ahead and type in barback 1. Okay. Uh, we'll say departing from Bakersfield, even though that's departing from Barstow, but we'll say Mojave sub. Um, Continue. And it's departing from the yard in Bakersfield. Okay. So you go back into the registry and nothing's really updating. This usually updates right away, by the way. So you're like, okay, what's going on? I just entered this. This should be popping up. So what you can do is you can look through other ones and see, or the best way to do is just go to the sorted, and then you can see right away, oops, I made an error. Now, keep in mind, this screen here, you should always keep open as an extra tab while you're running. And here's why. Because there's two things. Number one, it's good to keep it open because you can actually edit the form. Now you say see previous responses. There was a recommended to that, but you can also go in to edit your response. So the last response you have pops up in another tab, and then boom, there it is right there. So we're going to change that to M back bar 1 now. Departing and continue. Yes, and that's correct. And then we'll submit. We'll go to the registry. Go back to the Bakersfield mine. There it is. See? So now you know. This is what alerts me when I'm actually going to release trains in the middle of the night and nobody's on and I see departing. Trains are departing. I'm thinking, okay, why is that? There was other trains I've seen that were ahead of schedule that were running and I couldn't figure out why because I never released them. So that's how I can find out these things. Now, as an admin, I'm able to go into the form responses and delete this. But actually, we'll go even further. Okay. So you got these thanks, all this other stuff. It opens up another one. But now that we got the right train going, you're underway. Still keep this open. as long as you're on the same route. Now, if you go into Barstow, that is going to require a different entry because of the way it's set up. But as long as you're on the same route and you're going to actually go for a crew change on the Mojave, if you change this, it isn't going to work because it's going to actually be really screwy. It's better to make a new entry in that case. But as long as you're on the same route, anything departing Barstow probably isn't going to work too well with that. But as long as you're on the same route, now you're at one of these. So you can go down and let's say we're at Cliff Siding. Okay, so we're there. Of course, it opens another tab every time it does that. It's not a big deal. You can close that tab. As long as you got one of these, you're fine. And there. See, now it says crew change Cliff. Um, Now, if you do make an error and for whatever reason it's something that you weren't able to catch by this method, then of course just post a message. But you should always revert back to this. Uh, Wherever you chose the train from, you should have that open to see if everything took. If it didn't take, you can check the sorted and notice there's only one entry. It hasn't done multiple entries here. That's just because I've edited like I've shown you here, so that works fine. Um, if it's a matter of getting an admin in there that has to delete it because you have two entries, uh, then just post a message and we can do that for you. And what we usually do is we'll go through all the form responses. And again, this is only something that the admins have access to do. And you notice here, see responder updated this value, so I know if somebody had updated the value, which is fine, it's not a big deal. But then I'll go ahead and I'll delete that row because we never ran that train. So now it's as simple as that, and it's gone. And the other one was what was a barback or whatever. Remember, what was it, barback one? Was originally put in by mistake. Am I on the right one? Yeah, it's in there somewhere. Barback one. Do we have a barback one? Where is it? Should be here somewhere. I don't know. I'm blind today. Barback. Oh, it's right there. It's the next one. Okay. So, anyways, yeah. What originally would have happened was the error. It would have shown up here or wherever it was, and that just keeps the registry clean, makes it actually what's going on, as opposed to something that doesn't make any sense and just throws people off. So a lot of times too, you'll take a release train, you'll end up running a different one, and what is a release train or what was a previous train all of a sudden shows up. So it's important to just keep everything open, and you know that's about it. There's nothing more to it than that. It's just that simple. So again, if you're running from two routes, if you're running from the Mojave route into Barstow, then you're going to have to make a second entry, um, which is fine. Making a second entry can also, if you've closed it off, can also modify the last entry too. So if you made a mistake on the first entry and for whatever reason you've closed this off, then once you're out of the route, rule of thumb, once you're out of the route, this should be closed. And the reason why is if you edit a response and have multiple routes in there, it will pick up one of the multiple routes. So you can't really edit, because what happens is when you go into, let me just when you go into what route you're on, it opens up a new window. So that data is still there. You can't go in and remove it. So that's why this opens up a new window. So it's technically the same registry, but I don't want to confuse you with that. Basically, rule of thumb, if you're on the same route, you can still modify it. So check what you're doing. Make it part of your checklist as you're departing, and that'll keep things nice and clean in the registry and prevent errors and prevent cleanup. Like I said, I catch errors like this all the time, and all I have to do is go in and edit my response, and everything's taken care of. You want to close something and you're in the middle of, that's fine. You can leave the page. Um, as long as it's not entered, then everything's good. So, anyways, that's about it for now. Talk to you later.